Music from Childhood by Sir Edward Elgar. That was the suite number 1 from The Wand of Youth. That was a performance by the Ulster Orchestra. Bryden Thompson was conducting.
The Truman Show. Remember the scene where it was raining in just one spot, just for him? I swear I go through the same thing. And so I have a white truck and it's new, so I like to maintain it. And when it rains and I drive in it, you know, the dirt spots splash up. And I learned that the snow, if you don't wash your car and it snows and then you drive through it and that slush stays on it, if you don't wash it off in the next day, it basically sticks. So it's not that I'm obsessed with cleaning my truck, it's just that I know that if I let the dirt sit, even if it's going to rain tomorrow, if it sits, it's at some point I got to go around and probably wet sand it and buff it out, the whole truck, because of those little spots. So if you can see that it's still raining a little bit, but the forecast doesn't say rain in it. It says it's done. It's not going to rain until I go to the shore on Saturday. But there was no, when I looked at the extended day forecast, because everything's so expensive, it's sickening. Like when you go down the shore, the following weekend, it's going to be 300 hours a night. This coming weekend, it's 300 hours for 2 nights. I don't even know who said that that's acceptable in this system. So I just got to try to just accept the way things are, because I can't change anything. But I don't like how expensive things are. I remember I had a 2-bedroom apartment back when my son was born 21 years ago. And it was $500 a month. 2-car, I had a garage. I think it was a 2-car garage. And 2 bedrooms and $500 a month. Like, that's so easily affordable. But not anymore. I'm sure the same apartment is $2,000. So obviously things are done on purpose. You don't make any more money, but everything keeps going up. And that's Joe Biden's goal, is to really, his goal, according to Satan, his father, you know, the character, the Joe Biden character. It's really Jacob Israel behind a mask, who's very old. It's not that he's very old, like dying, old age old. He's old, like ancient, aren't you, Jacob? You're old. Things like this happen. Just tapping in. It works any other time, but I don't know, for some reason just today's a test day. And I gotta say, I failed those tests frequently. I do get irritated at things because I believe they're done on purpose. Like, for instance, when you pay to go down to the shore, you know, to the Truman, the end of the, you know, where the water, the end where I'm in a bubble. I live in a bubble. There's more out there, but I gotta find a door. And then, so it's just normal, like, things that work don't work. I don't know, maybe it's a setting or something, or who knows. I'm not gonna blame it on the devil, because that's like a cop-out. So anyway, there's no rain in the forecast right today. And so what I did was I wiped down the truck to get all the black spots off. And the moment I leave work, because what I did was I wiped down the spots with the ShamWow, and it gets rid of all the dirty. You don't have to wash the truck, so you're basically washing like that. And then numerous amount of times, it just always seems like as soon as I leave, then it rains. And the difference is, you know, wherever you are, if you're home and your car is out front and it rains, it's really not a big deal because the rain basically cleans the car. It does. But if you're driving it, it dirties the car. So the way that rain is pouring down right now, or not really pouring, but drizzling down, what'll happen is by the time I get home, I'll have to wipe it down again. So that's all. It's just everything that's done on purpose. Because when I was on Derek Brose's channel and we were talking about, the topic was weather manipulation, right? Derek Brose, when he asked me what do I think about the weather and all that stuff, I said it's man-made, every last bit of it. And he said no question about it. Now, he wouldn't have said no question about it if it wasn't all man-made. Meaning, it's not the perception of what we believe God is to be, just a spirit in the sky, that things are like randomly just, clouds, and no, it's man-made, ran by AI. So that means things are done on purpose. So I'll give you an example. I looked at the extended forecast just because, the 15-day extended forecast, because I know that weather is controlled. I don't know how people can't understand that if they don't. How do you not know? When they predict the weather, it's not because they can predict the weather. It's because they're the ones manufacturing the weather. So they're going to tell you what they're doing. Just like when Kleck tells you what they're doing, it's because it's already been written, recorded, played back, rewinded and played back, and there it is. So it's already been done. So they can tell you what's going to happen. That's how they know the weather. So at the 15-day forecast, I booked it down there for the weekend, and it said Saturday. It showed part of the sun and 70 degrees and no rain. And then Sunday, a little bit cloudy, I think. And then Monday, I forget. I get closer. Saturday, just 3 days from now. Now all of a sudden it's 60 degrees and raining. Considerable cloudiness. The whole point of going down the shore is to enjoy the sun, get a suntan, lay on the beach with nice weather. It really doesn't matter how hot it is down the shore because the water, the breeze, and I don't know, I just feel like ever since Jacob Israel told me that I needed to apologize, even though he was talking about somebody else, but I think he was talking to me because I just think that way. I think he changed the weather on me purposely and made Monday and Tuesday are going to be beautiful in Philly. It's going to be like 80 degrees and straight sunshine. I feel like things are done on purpose. I feel like Jacob Israel has even control of the weather in this matrix, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have control, Jacob? I don't know, it's just hard to see. It's hard to see that God would do things spitefully just to piss people off, just to teach them a lesson. When I can understand if you're sinning, like there's a difference between sinning against God, sinning against people, sinning against God. So David wanted to be a better man. He struggled with his sin. His sin was, Bathsheba, can you blame him? Look at her, according to what she would look like. Not that it's an excuse or justifying it, but when your sin is sexual towards another female, but yet you treat her very good, and you're not forcing yourself on her, unlike some of the other prophets in the Bible talked about when they took their women. David and Bathsheba was consensual, and obviously you can be forgiven for committing sin here in hell. And I think Stephen James, didn't you say that you've been here 6 times already? Does that mean does that mean that you just don't go to heaven? You stay here and rule hell? Like you keep coming back when you die? Do you really come back in another body and you remember your past life every time? Why is it that you just don't go to heaven and be done with this place? It reminds me of King Nebuchadnezzar, where it's hard to say, did he get rid of all his gods and worship Daniel's God, or did he just acknowledge that Daniel's God is the God? But, he's a good God and everything, but he still likes his idol, his God. He may have brought God into the equation, Daniel's God. He considered him, because he did praise Daniel and say that his God is the ultimate one. But was he truly someone that's saved and he's going to be in heaven? Or is it just that he recognized that, obviously, because I've juxtapositions before talking about Stephen James and Jonathan Kleck, but maybe Steve, who's the guy that was in charge of Ashpenaz or something? He was considered, I was listening to Robert Breaker, he's the one who's in charge, the one that Daniel was brought, he said he found Daniel, right? He said that to the king. So who in this system here came in my direction first? It was Stephen James, and he reminded me of the devil. And Breaker was saying that he's Ashpenaz, I think he said his name, the one in charge, is considered a lion, and a lion is also a roaring lion looking to seek whom he may devour. So Stephen James realized he couldn't devour me, and so maybe you brought me to King Nebuchadnezzar, like Daniel, who interprets the dreams of the statue and the head of gold and the chest of what is it? Is it brass or is it bronze? And the belly represents grease, and in the belly, that snake oil, grease. The kingdoms, there's 5 altogether, 4 of them, but Christ's kingdom in the end is the last one, mingled with iron and mingled with clay. But the last one subdues all the others. But isn't that what Joe Biden's doing right now? Isn't that what Jacob Israel's doing right now? The final, aren't you the 4th and final kingdom, Jacob? And then right after you're finished, right after you're done with, right after you're finished with the Joe Bidenism, Biden time, bitey poopy pants. That's the funniest thing AMTV Christopher Green ever said. You bitey poopy pants. Because there's a lot of times I can't. I have trouble tolerating his spirit, the actor. Like I have trouble tolerating rain that's just sent in my direction only as I'm driving. I'll guarantee you by the time I get home it'll stop. It'll stop as soon as I pull up to the driveway. But it's because the devil knows that. And why do you have to test me with all these things anyway? It's like you're the antagonist. You're the one that you do this shit on purpose. If you just stop doing things on purpose, people won't have to learn their patience and tolerance of evil things that are purposely done. Is it evil that it rains? Well, no, but it's just, what's the point of doing it all the time and having clouds? Sure, everything's fake, everything's man-made, but I really appreciate the sun and no clouds. I like to look at clear blue skies and fair weather, 77 degrees like it is in San Diego. And I think it's sunny all the time over there too, so I just can't afford to move there. And I really would like to. I don't know, maybe I can change things, and it's because of my complaining that gets stuff done. But the devil will tell you that you're sinning because you can't. It's like, Lord, am I sinning because sin purposely done sickens me? Like, do I become a sinner because sin sickens me? Like, I know I'm a sinner. I still sin because every man in flesh is a sinner. Christ was sinless because he sinned less than, most people, because he just sinned less. And on top of that, because he already died for not only his sin but yours too, he's already sinless. Because it's already been done. It's like God already watched the movie. Every video I upload, it's already been uploaded, and God already watched it. Even though I didn't even upload this video yet, he already seen it. He already heard it. He already sees what I'm gonna do later on, tomorrow, or next day. He already knows. It's like watching it on a flat screen TV. So there was no rain in the forecast, the lying forecast. And when I booked it to go to the shore, it was sunny and nice. Now it's rainy and poopy. And I just feel like I'm in the Truman Show. I feel like I am Truman. And I'm harassed by all of you gang stalkers all throughout everywhere. And everybody knows the truth, and they've been lying and hiding it from me. That's why I can't really open up the line of communication with people on the telephone lines, because you're all agents, and I don't feel like, there's times where, of course everybody's gonna say it or not, but everybody is. I'm not. And that's the truth. So I'd just rather not be lied to. That's all. Because I ask a lot of questions, and I don't know. I keep communications down to a minimal. And I still get irritated at stuff, and I ask God to help me to stop getting irritated at things that I know are done on purpose by the devil. And then I ask God, am I sinning because the sin that's done on purpose sickens me to death? Am I sinning because the sin of perversion gets on my nerves. Perverting the word of God. It bothers me because it's not the way it's supposed to be taught. And then earlier, I'm listening to Skip Heitzing talking about, you know, how people should carry other people's burdens at times and carry their load and their burdens and their heavy burdens and burden this and burden that and fruit of the tree and squeezing apples out of the tree. Do you ever see that? And now, boy, that was hard to do. That was hard, huh? And then he just kept going on with the burdens and carrying your birds, and it's all about the birds. And it's like, all right, Skip, man, I get it already. Are you supposed to carry each other's burdens, or are you supposed to just deal with your own bird den? I just need to. I just need to. Here, let me just. There. Here. So I just need to vent. There's times where I just need to vent. I got to get it out of my system. You know, the devil is constantly. The devil is always gonna be, until you're not in the flesh anymore. So the devil is like omnipresent, even though the Bible or whoever says that he doesn't, that he's not, he can't. No, he's everywhere, because he can see through everybody's eyeball, which means he can tap in to anybody he wants to, just like the Matrix, just like Agent Smith can do. And nobody can beat Agent Smith except for Neo. So Jacob, Israel, I concluded that you must be Agent Smith. I thought it was Stephen James, but I don't know. I gotta just separate everybody and stop thinking that you're all the same person. But even if you are, whatever. I don't know how long this takes. I don't know when this ends. Maybe I just die and then it ends. Or maybe I suffer for the rest of another 30 years and nothing ever happens and it's just working and whatever. And maybe I'll just be bitter. Maybe I'll never get over it. I'm walking around with all this information of recording, directing music videos from 30 years ago, and all famous rock bands. And, you know, from what I see, they're enjoying their lives, they're living large, and they're not actually working for a living. They don't do work that you don't want to do. They're living their lives very, 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 very comfortably. And I directed their music videos, and I'm still working for a living. Yeah, like 7 years is a good amount of time to be doing it for free. But this is such a prison. It's like I have not been sentenced yet. The judge didn't give me a sentence. I don't know what I'm getting out. It's not a good feeling, because I was in jail for a year and a half with about 4 or 5 different open cases because I was a dumbass in 2004. But that was the last time that I was a dumbass for the most part. And look at the rain that said it wasn't going to rain. I'm going to bet my life when I go home, it's going to stop. But it's going to rain just enough to ruin wiping down the truck. Because that's my good old buddy. You know, if nothing else, it's just I battle demonic thoughts in my head, because I know a lot of things are done on purpose. And I know the weather is not just randomly because God feels like watering the earth all the time and having clouds, because you know that it's seasonal depression. I understand the weather, the dark, getting dark at night and light and day and night and winter and summer and spring and fall. But why so many clouds? Why so many images? Why so much cloudiness to ruin your mood when you go down the shore, when you book it 2 weeks ahead of time because it says it's going to be sunny, and then you get there, it's 10 degrees less and it's going to rain and be considerably cloudy both days until you leave. Then it's going to be sunny. You know how many times it's been poopy rainy on the weekends when you have off of work that you got to do all 5 days a week, and then you go back to work. Oh, it's so sunny and nice and lovely while you're working. I believe it's done on purpose. How can it not be done on purpose? The Truman Show proves it. They harass him all the time with everything. There's literally a cloud following him that rains just on him. Alright, enough. I'm done. Do these things bother anybody else? Or is it just me and a bunch of other people? Or is it just me? The agents on YouTube, you guys live well, don't you? You live nice. You live comfortable. Even if you're just an AI program and you don't even exist, but yet I can still talk to people. You still live good in this realm of existence here. I don't know what I did wrong. I guess I was just brought up in a lost family. Things that you're supposed to do when you're 18, like get your shit straight and get a job or go to school or whatever. I don't know. I did that. I did go to a junior college, and after being locked up as a juvenile, getting my GED, and then going straight from there to a junior college, 2 years, and graduating and getting a certificate in carpentry, and then getting a job immediately at the age of 19 as a carpenter. But they only started me off at $7.50 an hour. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just hanging there for a year, made it up to $9, and luckily one person seen that I was running circles around all the others that were getting paid $18, $19 an hour. And you know what that reminded me of? The YouTube agents that have already been there. They're doing their bare minimum of what they can do and get paid well, and here I am, the rookie, hopping into this platform and running circles around everybody and doing it for dirt. Not even cheap, just for straight dirt. Not even a price, nothing. So the people that were making twice the amount when I first started in the carpentry, I was motivated and ran circles around everybody. And that's just how I've been. But at a certain point, I would just assume my motivation is going to run out on YouTube, doing this freely of charge, and just knowing that everybody else is just getting away with everything, but they're not getting away with everything. You see, my mind goes back and forth because I try to accept things, but then I can't. I try to just deal with it, but it sickens me. Then it sickens me so much, then I stop complaining about it. Then I get on, then I move on. It's a roller coaster. I admit it. I go through it. It's frustrating. It's rewarding. I break down and in tears while I watch, the time travel videos of my art museum footage and how it just doesn't stop lining up, and then I gotta wake up, and then the frustrating part is, I gotta go to sleep, because I don't even want to go to sleep anymore, but I have to, because I gotta get up and go to work and do it all over again, while all these famous rock bands are making gazillions of dollars off of my footage from the art museum and their videos and the CDs or whatever they sell, or whatever the hell you make money. And then I gotta reel it back in again and stop bitching and complaining, because look at what's happening here. You're going to get your reward, Robin, in the end. We're not at the end just yet. Even if your reward is death, assassination, they take you out and it's just, you're done. Okay, whatever. This world gets you to the point to be that way so much we can't stand anything unless you love this world. And so God so loved the whole world that he gave his only begotten son. So what do you mean? You trying to make friendship with the world? No, the world system is not, for me, it's not a great system. For anybody else who isn't particularly rich and has had really good parental guidance to get you ahead of life instead of trying to do it at the end. For the average Joe, this system's not good. But for Joe Biden, oh yeah, for Poopy Pants Biden Poopy Pants. I mean, you don't get offended at me, Jacob, do you? Considering that's your character, I believe. You don't get offended at me like you did with your scripted beef with Kim Jong because he had he called Biden a child. I just know that Biden's not who he, when he's done, when he's off the camera, Jacob Israel goes back to another, whoever he is. Whoever he controls. It just doesn't seem fair, does it? It doesn't seem fair, but what do I expect? I'm in hell, right? Here I am, I'm in hell. I don't remember being asked to be born. I don't remember agreeing to come down here. But I don't remember recording all these YouTube songs and they're directing their music videos and 21 artists to 23 altogether either before I did it. So that's the struggle. Why would I agree to this? Because I know the outcome in the end when it's over. I just don't remember it just yet, but I'm remembering certain things because once I record the art museum footage and then I rewatch it, my memory comes back. And because I know that God has already seen everything and done everything and he just rewinds videos and watches them again, it's almost no different than when I make a video as Robin and then say last year or even a couple months 2 days ago, and then I rewatched the video as I'm recording myself again talking about what I was doing in that previous video. That's the same as like how God can already know what you just did yesterday. And rewind your video and watch the entire thing. So once I'm done watching the video, I now know what I just did. yesterday. And then I can hop in and record myself next to me again. And then I can kind of point out things that I'm going to see before Robin in the video can even see what he's recording. I would already know, and then I can record that, and then basically I can troll myself. I can troll myself. I control myself. And that's how you guys do it to me. It's just I'm a little bit further behind than being able to catch up like that. But that's how it worked. That is how it is. That's how this matrix is. That's how the footage can be identical with what I show. There's times I just want to die. There's times I want to live. I've never been financially secure. I've always sacrificed myself towards family, and I've had lived at places that, you know, maybe the rent's a little bit too high, and maybe my credit's not good enough to buy a house, and so I just stay there. But I make sure that the kids are going to be in the best school district, and then so once they're in the best school district, like my stepson Trevor, who is a financial advisor, graduated from Temple, went to the best top rated 3 school district in Pennsylvania, and then is getting married in June the 7th, and so I got my suit, and I'm gonna dress up in a suit. I don't usually do that. And then he's now a partner with his, you know, the firm in Philadelphia there. I'm sure it's a big corporation. He did that pretty quick, you know. So, and then I made sure that my son and my stepson were in the best school district, so you have a best chance of getting a good job, and that's where they're both at. So that worked. And then the price of homes raised up so much that the house that I was in from the beginning was $2,000 rent, and it was a $300,000 house 12 years ago. It doesn't matter when Steve's like, "Oh, Robin lives in a $500,000 home now. That's pretty good for a trim carpenter." Yeah, well, it's not like I make any more money, and the prices of houses go up. But the good thing is, I've been such a good tenant that she's kept the rent the same, pretty much. $2,020 a month for a 4-bedroom home, single home by itself. It can easily go for $3,300. She already told me, and we already looked it up, and but that's the only thing that's saving me from basically being broke. Yeah, I could have bought a used truck. Sure, I could have bought something that I would have to put money into and break down and whatever, or get something brand new that's reliable and it's going to last for a good 10 years at least, until whatever. So I'm just venting, fighting demons in my head. Is any of it true that I go through? Is anybody doing anything on purpose? Is Jacob, do you have the ability to control the weather at any point in time? Couldn't you just push the button and let it be sunny? Of course you could. Why don't you? Because we're not at that point yet. Because heaven didn't come down to earth yet, and you're still in power. That's why. But I have a feeling Jacob's the last one, because it's like you got Stephen James, you had Derek Bros, you have Jonathan Kleck, and then in the end you got Jacob Israel. And then once all 4 of those kingdoms are finished, you have the kingdom of Christ and heaven coming down to earth. You have 1,000-year reign, 1,000 days, and 1,000 years before the birth of Christ was King David. So 1,000 days, you got David, and then you're reigning with Christ for 1,000 days until the birth, public known ministry type in the world, awareness. happens, and all this sickness and disgusting lies and fakery and perverting the word of God comes to an end. But in the meantime, I'm just going to vent things out. I'm going to keep going no matter what. I'm doing it for free. The reward is somewhere at the end. I don't know when, but so be it. I'm blessed to be a music video director for all these famous rock bands.